and welcome to another episode of Video Selling Live, the show for all things video selling. I am your host, Chris Bogue, and this is my co-host, Selena Magnuson. Selena, say hi.
Hi, everybody. I'm Selena Magnuson, Director of Customer Success at SendSpark, and today's episode is all about how to motivate your team to use video selling.
Wonderful. One of my favorite topics, getting people hyped, getting the team out there, doing it at a high level. So we are going to jump into that in just a moment. But first of all, like we mentioned, this is a show by SendSpark. So SendSpark is a way that sales teams specifically can sell on video and can sell on video at scale. If you want to learn more about video selling, or if you just want to make sure you never miss a future episode of Video Selling Live, go ahead and follow our LinkedIn page. You can scan that QR code. That'll make sure that you're getting updates from us all the time. And if you don't know who I am, I'm a video coach. My name is Chris Bogue. I coach sellers to make mercifully short video content that drives revenue. Specifically, I am focused a lot on on-camera performance and scripting. But yeah, this is an episode all about motivation. So Selena and I are hyped. We're going to get to our video breakdown segment in just a moment. But before we do that, we want to hear from you. So I'm seeing some good activity in the comments right now. I see Dean. I see Brian. Hello, hello. If you are watching this live, go ahead and jump into the comments. Otherwise, we don't know you're here. Right? So jump in, say hello, let us know where you're posting from, and be sure to ask questions and share your thoughts. And Selena and I are going to try to answer as many of them as we can throughout the show. So with that being said, Selena, I think it's time for our video breakdown. You want to do it?
Let's do it.
Okay. So just so you know, everybody, this is a segment that we do every week. This is our video breakdown. These are videos from real sellers. So we're going to be reviewing it and giving them some simple feedback for what they can do to make it more effective. So today's video breakdown video comes from Mike Osborne.
Woo!
And yeah, SendSpark user. And let's give it a watch, and we will go ahead and share our feedback. So here we go. Okay.
Chris, can you hear the sound? I don't hear it.
Oh, here, let's try this again. Okay, share. Okay, so let's try this.
Hi, Stevie. Mark Osborne here from Elevate. Want to put a face to the name and hopefully get some time with you. I know we're connected on LinkedIn, but wanted to see if we could get 10 or 15 minutes just to see if there's a fit between our two companies. So really quickly, what Elevate does is we help companies create sustainable and profitable revenue. And we do that a couple different ways. We consult and just kind of help out with your existing team or train. As well as we can execute depending on what your needs are at this current time. And we do that throughout the customer lifecycle. So it depends on where you are or where you want us to fit in or where you think there are potentially some gaps. I love what Vanta does. Obviously, I actually have a security background. I come from a few security startups back in a few years ago. But if you have some time, 10 or 15 minutes, like I said, just to see if there's a fit and if there's some potential for us to kind of help out and accelerate and get some additional revenue, depending on what you're looking at, new logos, which I'm assuming, but also protecting and expanding those existing accounts. Underneath my ugly mug, there should be a link to book a meeting, but if not, you can just email me back and let me know what times work for you. And obviously I'll be flexible to see if we can chat. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Thanks, Stevie.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mike. We really appreciate you. As the winner of this week's video breakdown, we are going to be sending you a $50 gift card. But Selena, let's just jump right in. What are your initial impressions watching Mike's video?
So, one, I'm sorry, the ugly mug thing got me, but I'm going to start off by saying that I really like Mark's use of his spotlight mode in the video just because it makes him the center focus of the video, but it still catches the attention of the website background. So, that's perfect for prospecting. But another thing that I would say that stood out to me was the duration of the video. It's almost a minute and a half long. And as much as I love hearing Mark and what he has to say, I would definitely consider shortening the message as much as possible because it's going to be easier to digest for the viewer. And the shorter it is, the more likely that viewers are going to watch the video in its entirety.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I'm seeing some comments about the ugly mug thing. I want to just say, Mike, if you're watching this, you're not ugly.
Mark.
You're not ugly. You know, and this is it's actually a people use self-deprecating humor to kind of diffuse the tension. But when I watch this, I see a 1 minute 20-second video that could easily be turned into a 45-second video. And part of that is just starting right with what's important about the buyer. So there was a lot of great content in here about security, about running a cybersecurity company. I would lead with that. Yeah. And we're going to get into this in a little bit later in our lesson. But I always start with a you statement. I start talking about them. I start talking about what's important to them. If I'm selling to a cybersecurity company, I'm going to mention that right away. I'm reaching out to you because you have a cybersecurity background. I know you might be dealing with X, Y, and Z. And here's why I think it's relevant for us to chat. And, the other note I see there is he mentioned at the top and the bottom of the video that he was looking for 10 to 15 minutes. I save that ask until the very end of the video. If I'm asking for time, it is the last thing I am asking for. I'm building my relevance in the beginning there. I'm talking about them and the things they care about, their goals, their values, possible problems they might be facing. And then I close it out with my call to action. And that's where I say, hey, I would love to get 10 to 15 minutes with you. Here's how to do that. I will see you soon.
I totally agree with that, Chris. And another thing that I would say that would help shorten it, even though it's just a few seconds, but those few seconds, they add up. The introduction, get rid of it. Just focus on the importance of the message. Mark's really good at what he does, and I would focus that and keep that skill on just what's in it for the prospect. Because when you think about it, when you're sending this video, one of the ways that you're probably sending this is through an email, right? And in your email, you already have a signature. That's going to show who you are. It's going to show, what your role is in the company and so forth. So the introduction is not necessary. And just speaking of introductions, I'm going to throw this out there, but you can also have a video signature in your email. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there for anyone who wants to stand out and potentially get more calls booked.
Yeah, well, no, I think that's a great point. And, if I would have to give a little bit more constructive criticism to the video, you touched on a few different things, and then it almost felt like you were giving like a couple different calls to action. And Selena is right. There's all sorts of ways you can build context outside of the video, including what you're saying in your email. If you're doing this on LinkedIn, your LinkedIn company page, your LinkedIn profile page, I really want to make sure that 45 seconds on video is all about them, all about the reasons why they might want to meet with me right now, as opposed to, 6 months from now. And just to answer Jacob's question here, Jacob says, is 45 seconds what you suggest? In general, shorter is better, in my opinion. You can always get your message down shorter. You can always make it more concise. I don't know, Selene, if you have any thoughts specifically on the length of this, I as a video seller, as a content creator, I am always trying to get my message shorter, more to the point. I would rather get one simple point across to the viewer than to say too much and risk that maybe they don't take anything away from it.
Exactly, because you could also get lost in what you're saying. So I think that that's something we'll probably maybe mention later. But I would keep it short and sweet. And I say 45 seconds is like a nice little sweet spot. It's not too long. It's short. If you do 30, perfect.
Yeah, and don't get too hung up on it. I know sometimes I'll make a video and it's a minute long or it's a minute 03 and I'm like, oh, 45 seconds would be better. But again, I don't want to oversimplify things. Sometimes you do make a longer video. But again, objectively, you look at that. There were lines that were repeated. There was moments where you were kind of thinking, any of those, you see that little space, if you can just clip it out, the shorter the message is, the easier it is to get someone to watch the whole thing. And you can always reach out and, provide other context too. That's the nice thing about putting it out there in short little messages. Now, when you call, now when you email, when you DM, when you voice note, when you follow up, you've got other things to say too.
100%.
Very cool. Well, that was great. Mark, thank you so much for submitting your clip. Again, we are going to be emailing you after the show. So let me go ahead. I'll take this off the screen. And if anybody would like to participate in future episodes, you can do that by emailing us. So if you want to go ahead and email us a video to videosellinglive@senspark.com, we might break it down on a future episode. And you don't have to be using SenseSpark. This is a show where everybody can learn about video. So if you use SenseSpark, if you use a different program, maybe you just use your phone. There's a lot of people out there, especially if you're a solopreneur or if you're just starting on video, maybe you're just making videos on your phone and sending them. That's fine. We're here to learn and grow together. So go ahead, send anything you want to videosellinglive@senspark.com. And once again, feel free to follow our page. So now that that's all said and done, I think it's time to get to today's lesson. Selena, are you ready for the lesson?
I'm always ready, Chris.
You are always ready. That is your thing. Let's go ahead. It's lesson time. Okay. So today's lesson is all about motivating your team to get on video. Selena, I'm so happy we're doing this topic because this is something I think about all the time. I've been coaching for a long time, and one of the biggest problems I see sales teams run into is they'll get a program like SenseSpark or Vidyard or BombBomb or something like that. They spend all this money and time implementing it and onboarding, and then they're not using it at the level they want to. And they don't know how to get their reps to actually start using video at a volume that's actually going to produce results. So we are going to be answering right now some of our techniques. We're going to be sharing our techniques for how we help teams get better adoption on video, how we motivate teams to do it. And once again, if you are in the audience, if you are watching this live and you have questions or you have thoughts, please go ahead and comment with them. But yeah, Selena, why don't you take us away? You're the head of customer success. How do you motivate people?
Okay, so there's a lot of different ways. One, I'm going to be a little biased, and if you don't already have a customer success manager helping you, get one. But no, the other way I would say is, I guess my favorite way, make it fun. You can start off by simply getting your team to get used to creating videos, especially for those that aren't used to it at all, and just send them off to each other. Create videos, send them off, do as many as you can to kind of get over that hump. So one, it's helping your team feel a lot more confident on camera. And it's also giving like that loosen up feeling because they're probably sending funny videos at some point to each other, and it's allowing their personality to shine, right? And another way, and of course, I'm going to be biased with the platform you're using, but with SenseSpark, we have something called a team overview. So you can use that to check out the stats and data of your team. It's perfect for your leaders to kind of see who's made the most videos, which videos have the most engagement. And with all of this information, you can create so many different types of like team contests that are going to allow you to recognize and reward with quick wins for your team.
Wait, so like when you say team contests, what do you mean by that, Selena?
So, oh goodness, you got me going now. So team contest, you can do so many things. You can say, all right, you can put a number on and a deadline on how many videos are being created within, a certain time frame. You can also do who's going to be the first one to get their first CTA. There's literally so many things. You just want to think outside the box and make it super fun, but also giving people that recognition and reward that they so strive for.
Yeah, so that's great. Selena and I were talking about this before the show, and we've kind of got a good cop, bad cop thing going on here because while Selena is a customer success person and she's all about making things fun, I'm a sales guy. And it is my personal belief that the way to have fun is to win. And the way to have fun on video when you're a salesperson is to know what you're supposed to say and know what you're supposed to do. And again, I've been doing this for a few years now, and I have found that sales teams will get the solution. They've thought a lot about their cold calling scripts. They've thought a lot about their demos. They've thought a lot about their customer journey, but they haven't thought at all about how to script their videos. And that's what I'm really going to be focusing on here. So if you're a sales leader out there, you're probably just shooting in the dark, right? You've probably never been trained on video. I was trained on television. I did network television, and I've just done a number of professional projects in front of professional cameras. And I've been scripting for a long time, both for my own business, but I'm a writer. I've been a writer for a long time, so it's very natural for me to script to others. And I don't know if anybody wants to put in the comments, but who out there actually scripts your videos? I know I do. And this is how I do it. I'm going to share this with you right now. So what you are seeing here right now is my script for outreach. So if you want to write this down, if you are a sales leader, if you are managing a team, this is the most bare bones way I can describe the way that I speak on video. But it always starts with a you statement. It goes into the goals and values. From there, I lead to the problems that they might be experiencing and some of the effects that may have on their business. And then my call to action is the very last thing. So it's important to start with a shared frame of reference for truth. And what I mean by that is, if we want to go back to Mark's example from earlier, if I start a video by saying, hey, Steve, I'm reaching out to you because I know you're a cybersecurity expert. I've just gotten my prospects' attention because I've said something that they know is true. I'm talking about them. I know who they are. Clearly, I did my homework. And that's enough just to get some initial interest out of them, right? So before I'm talking about, hey, I'm reaching out for 10 to 20 minutes, I'm talking about them and something specifically that they are going to recognize as true. And if you're doing a custom video like the one we watched Mark do, that's great. I know a lot of sellers oftentimes are making a more generic video that they're sending out, in which case I wouldn't use a name, but I would use a you statement. Literally put the word you in there. Hey, the reason why you're receiving this video is because, your company fits XYZ criteria. So that's what I start with. From there, I talk about the goals and values of that company. So again, if you're going custom, this is where you can really let your personalization shine. I tend not to do, the thing where I'm looking where someone went to college or whatever. Usually you can find their goals and values right on their company website, right? That's the kind of thing you could find in a mission statement. That's the kind of thing you can see on social media. Hey, I know you went to Illinois State. That's not quite as powerful as saying, hey, I know diversity is important to your organization. I know you're trying to be the leader in, creative marketing. Whatever that is, I want to pull those words right from them with just a simple sentence or two. And then I'm going to segue to the problems and effects that they might be facing. Hey, if you're doing this, it can be hard to fill pipeline. It can be hard to, manage your team. Whatever it is that the problem they solved, now that I've established who they are and that I understand what they care about, I'm going to make reference to something they might be experiencing and the effects that could potentially have on their company. And then I close it off with a simple call to action. Maybe you want to ask for 10 to 15 minutes. I oftentimes end my prospecting videos by saying, hey, if you want to chat with us further, just respond with anything. Literally, you can just send me a thumbs up if you want me to send some available times where I can speak with you. Maybe I'm just asking them a simple question. I say, hey, if you could just respond with your answer, I'd be happy to know. You don't always have to ask for a meeting, but I always want to ask one simple thing. And this tends to be the script that I follow. So, Selena, any thoughts on my script here?
I absolutely love that script. I have something a little similar, but I like yours better. I love the fact that you're adding the goals and the values and, of course, doing your homework about it, but also adding the fact that, hello, you have a problem and I'm the person that can fix it. So CTA right now.
Yeah, well, it's here's your goals, here's your values. You might be experiencing this problem. I like to go in there. I don't pretend that I know all their problems. Like as a seller, I know that first I have to build trust with the buyer, and I have to get them to a point where they are going to share their pain with me. But I throw it out there, and again, this is why I start by understanding them first and showing them what I understand, showing what I know about them. Then I'm alluding to a problem that they might have. And yeah, that in my experience is if they are experiencing that problem, now they're more likely to open up about it because I've done the basic work of demonstrating up front. Where's this? I just saw a good comment here. Okay. We have a user here saying, I don't script exactly, but I write bullet points. That's great. Bullet points are your friend. Mm-hmm. Bullet points are going to make sure that you stay on message, but you still have flexibility to improvise. You still have flexibility to stay conversational. I highly recommend anybody out there who is managing a team, encourage your sellers to write in bullet points. And again, this is a fairly flexible script. You can amend this on your own. You can get creative and write your own. But if you want to motivate your team to get on video, I would have a starting point that you can provide to your team that they can build on, as opposed to just letting them figure it out on their own.
Yeah, it's a really great point.
Yeah. So I've got one more script to show, and then we're going to go to this week's challenge. But yeah, so this is a much simpler script here for a meeting reminder. So again, I know a lot of sales leaders are like, they're throwing numbers out to their team. They're like, go make 100 videos, go make 20 videos. It can be very confusing if you're especially a new sales rep to know like what you should be doing and what you should be saying. So my advice for any seller who is booking meetings, whose quota is dependent on people actually showing up to their meetings, this is a simple script you can follow for anybody who has already booked a meeting with you, right? So let's say you're an SDR, you cold call somebody, the call is successful, you book a meeting with them, you're meeting with them next Monday. On Thursday or Friday, I would get on video and I would strive for a video that's 15 or 20 seconds that follows this format. And I'll say, hey, Selena, really enjoyed our chat earlier this week. I'm looking forward to chatting with you next week. Here's one thing I want you to think about. And I'll see you Monday at noon. That's it. Super simple, super easy. You can have every single SDR on your team following this script. I have found it is very successful at getting people to show up. It improves your show rates. It prevents people from rescheduling or canceling on you and ghosting on you. And again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel here. You say one friendly thing to them, you give them one thing to think about, and then you remind them that you're going to be speaking soon. Selena, any thoughts on my meeting reminder script here?
No, I love that. And it's definitely something that proves to be very successful. I've done it in the past and I need to continue doing it again. But it does absolutely help. I am living proof.
Excellent.
I think somebody has a little message in there that's their own script. You want to look at it?
Ooh, let's see here. So,
on the back of a Snapple cap.
Oh, that's Brian being a goofball. Yeah. So that's our segment for this week's video lesson. So if you want to get more curious, you can reach out to us too. Don't forget, we always have here our email address. You can email us at videosellinglive@senspark.com if there's anything you want to go into further. And now we're going to end it with this week's challenge. You ready, Selena?
I'm always ready.
Okay. And this one's a simple one. This week's video challenge is, because this is an episode all for sales leaders who need to motivate their teams, is this challenge is to write your own video script. And, there's no better way to lead than by doing. If you really want your sales teams to jump headfirst into video, you have to show them that it works. And the best way to do that is to get out there and find what works for you. So, Selena, we already talked a little bit about bullet points. Do you have any other advice you can give the sales leaders who are watching right now for what they can do to write an effective video script?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely I would use your script. I love that script and make it into your own. But I think one of the biggest things is also just remember what's in it for your prospect. What is the value? And just making sure that you focus on that. Keeping it simple.
Yeah, it is always about the buyer. I always tell my clients, remember that the video is about them, not you. I treat the camera like it's the main character of the video, and I am the supporting character. And to any sales leaders out there who, if you're really effective on the phone, if you're really effective in email, if you're really effective running demos and discovery calls, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The phrases that you're talking about, the things you're saying on the phone, that's probably what's going to be effective on video. You know the problems that your buyers are facing. You know what you do to solve them. We didn't mention this either, but I'm a big fan of name dropping too. If you're running an account-based marketing strategy, it might be helpful to mention, some of the other people you work with that they might recognize. But again, you always want to make sure that you are giving them something upfront that's going to resonate with them. Oftentimes it is about them. You're starting with their goals. You're starting with their values. You're starting about what's important to them. To me, that is the greatest takeaway. And when it comes to calls to action, you're probably going to have to experiment. The more you do it, the more you'll get a sense for what works and what doesn't work. What you don't want to do is you don't want to spend a month making 3 or 4 videos. Try something new, try out a script, make 3 or 5 videos at a time, 3 to 10 videos if you're ambitious, and then just see how they go. So, Selena, we are about to close out here, but do you have anything else you want to add on motivating teams or for sales leaders who want to script an original script for their prospecting videos?
No, I don't really have too much. I would just say go out there, have fun, enjoy yourself, use your skills and hone in on them because you're a sales rep for a reason and you're probably a great sales rep. So use that to your advantage 100%.
Exactly. Yeah. Honestly, the best thing you could go out there is just to do it. I promise you, once you start getting some wins off of it, it is fun. You'll have a good time. And as always, make sure to check in every other Monday for new episodes of Video Selling Live. So we're going to keep this going every 2 weeks. We'll be tackling a different topic. We are going to be doing more video breakdowns in the future. So once again, send us your videos to videosellinglive@senspark.com or go ahead and scan the barcode or the QR code to follow our LinkedIn page. And that's all for this week. Thanks for joining us, and say bye, Selena.
Bye.